Pennsylvania, where 4 people have been killed and another is unaccounted for after an explosion there over the weekend. Let's listen in here to this update live as it's happening. Next on Live Now from Fox.
A little more details. All I can do is express my condolences and gratitude and thanks for the people who've come out to support the families and the community of Plum. And the loss that no words can convey on what we're doing. We've had reaching out from the highest levels of our Commonwealth, Governor Shapiro and Lieutenant Governor Davis. I know I'm joined here today by State Senator Jim Brewster, along with State Representative Brandon Markosik, also from Allegheny County, your County Councilwoman Michelle Nacarati-Chapkus. Going to hear from Lanny Conley, Chief of Police of Plum, also during this briefing, and then you're going to hear from Mike Huar from People's Natural Gas. But again, on behalf of all of us, we're here to provide as many services for the people in the neighborhood, in the community, whether it comes to housing, whether it comes to grief counseling and other things that hopefully can be provided for this tragedy and the families that are affected. But now let me turn it over to Mike Doyle. Mike's the president of Borough Council here in Plum to make a few remarks. Mike.
Thank you, Rich. First of all, I'd like to just echo everything Rich said. The outpouring we've gotten from people across the state and, quite frankly, across the country has been overwhelming. I just really want to thank everybody. I've been saying for years, sitting up on this dais, that our EMS people and our firefighters are second to none, and they showed that yesterday. We can't thank them enough, and from the surrounding areas too. The help we had and the response we had was unbelievable. And to this community, I was walking from the scene yesterday, and residents have their kids' pull carts filled with water and ice for the firefighters. You can smell that burgers cooking out there. The food, I mean, just everybody, it's just overwhelming response. Our hearts go out to all the victims, you know, this is still going to be a pretty long haul that we have here going on. I can't be more proud of this community, and I just wanted to make sure that our first responders, everybody that showed up, is thanked properly, because they were just absolutely world class. And with that, I will introduce Allegheny County's Emergency Services Director, Mr. Imbarlino.
Thank you, Councilman. My name is Steve Imbarlino. I'm Assistant Chief of Allegheny County Emergency Services. I want to begin with just a recap of the last day's events. So yesterday morning at about 10:22, our 911 center began receiving multiple calls for a home explosion at 141 Rustic Ridge Drive. Without delay, police, fire, and EMS were dispatched, and quickly 3 rescues were made and transported to local hospitals. As of this time, 2 patients have been released and 1 remains in critical condition. We do not expect to receive any more updates on that individual due to privacy laws and HIPAA. So just want to put that out there. Also, during the course of the response, local EMS treated 57 firefighters on scene for minor issues. That could have been anything from a strain sprain to heat-related issues. They were treated on scene and returned back to duty and re-entered into the effort. As far as the patients that remain unaccounted for, I'm going to introduce Police Chief Lanny Conley, who will give a brief update on that front.
Good afternoon. My name is Lanny Conley. I'm the Chief of Police for Plum Borough. The information that we have received from the Medical Examiner's Office is there have been 5 victims recovered from the scene, 4 of which are adults, and we have 1 adolescent child. Any more information on the victims will be released by the Medical Examiner's Office. So please give us some time to deal with this situation and give the families your respect and give them some space to deal with this tragedy, and just wait to hear the release of that information. Get back to you, Steve.
So just what's happening now. We're working a plan to restore utilities as we speak. Out of an abundance of caution yesterday, gas and electric was shut off to the bulk of that community, that Rustic Ridge community. As we speak right now, a plan is in place to begin restoring some of those services, and electric should be restored except for select addresses that were directly affected, and those addresses would be 135 to 145 on the odd side of Rustic Ridge Drive. Those addresses will remain without electric power, and on the even side 138 to 142. And I will now turn it over to Mike QR, President of Peoples Gas, who has a few remarks.
Thank you for coming. I'm Michael QR, President of Peoples Gas. I'd like to share what we know at this time. On Saturday, August 12 at approximately 10:35, we received the first emergency call for fire and explosion at Rustic Ridge Road. Company personnel were on site by 10:50 a.m. and we turned gas service to the Rustic Ridge neighborhood by 11:30 a.m. We immediately began checks in the area for leakage, including smell checks and testing for gas, either underground or in the air. We also verified consistent pressure at our regulation stations. At this point, we can share that our system was operating as designed. It's still too soon to estimate when service will be restored. In the meantime, we're all bringing all of our resources to bear to help the Allegheny County Fire Marshal in this investigation. They are in charge, including additional testing of our system. Information on other aspects of the situation will be shared by the Fire Marshal. We will share any additional information about gas service as soon as we can. We will post all new information on our website, and we'll be communicating directly with affected customers. For anyone that needs an update, our website is peoples-gas.com/alert. At Peoples, our hearts are with the loved ones and those who have lost their life in this tragic incident. Turn it back to you, sir.
Did you find that? Oh, I'm sorry. Before you open up the question.
Yes, sir. Just a few things we wanted to wrap up with. Now that we are at this phase, the cause and origin investigation of our Fire Marshal's office will begin in earnest. Please understand that this will be a slow and long process as things need to be tested, and there will be lots of forensic testing to be able to prove anything one way or another, and that this investigation may last for months, if not years. So please keep that in mind. It's a slow process. We also wanted to let everyone know, the community know, that Renton Fire Department and the municipal building here remain open as a respite center, and anyone who needs anything, any person to talk to or is feeling stress about the incident, they can call 1-800-985-5990. Again, that's 1-800-985-5990. Or they can text "Talk with Us," the words "Talk with Us," to 66746. Again, that's "Talk with Us" to 66746. We just want to let the media know this will be our last update from the location. Any further inquiries will be handled through Amy Downs, the county PIO, and I'll now turn it back over to Rich Fitzgerald, County Executive.
Thanks, Steve. And as Steve said, this will be the last briefing, and anything else goes through Amy Downs if you have any questions. I also would be remiss if I didn't, I think it might have been said, but I want to say it again, the thanks for the communities outside of the Borough of Plum who stepped in with their assistance, from other municipalities, even outside of Allegheny County. I mean, it just shows what people in southwestern Pennsylvania do when there's these type of incidents. People come together and do those type of things. So with that, let me open it up to any questions you may have for some of the folks who spoke here today.
When we were out at the scene, it wasn't just those 3 homes affected. There are several other homes that are boarded up. Are those people going to be able to go back into their homes anytime soon? Where are the displaced all being held? Are they staying with relatives?
Director Amberlina, do you want to? Or Mike, Councilman President?
I can answer a portion of that question at least. We had our gymnasium here ready to go. Red Cross was at the ready for anybody that was displaced. We were preparing for the entire community of Rustic Ridge. Fortunately, that was not necessary, and we just assumed that the families that were displaced stayed with other family or friends or things like that. But the community, we here at the borough were ready. We talked along with at Oakmont, see if they had places. Amplify Church offered their facilities, and like I said, we had this set up here. So anybody that was displaced was going to be taken care of. And by the way, all the fire halls were ready to get going too. So.
Do you have a number by chance of how many total homes were affected by this?
At this point, no, do not. We know that 3 were burnt down. And with an explosion like that, there's bound to be other collateral damage. I was walking away yesterday and I saw a Jeep with the back window blown out. So it's not just houses. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Oh, okay.
Does the video that's available of the incident that you actually captured the explosion, does that give any kind of indication or clues as to what the cause may have been? Because that was a very large, intense blast. And just what does it take to fuel an explosion like that?
I believe that's what the fire marshal, when their investigation, as lead investigatory agency, will be. I'm sure they'll be looking at videos and other type of evidence to try to make a determination along those lines. Also, on the previous question, our department, Allegheny County Department of Human Services, will also be available assisting with potential house vouchers, things along those lines for things that, again, as we learn, when people can return to their home and maybe not be able to return to their home, assistance that will be available along those lines. All right. Oops.
People may be wondering about the status of the neighborhood now. Should those people be reassured that they're safe in their homes when they felt this blast half a mile, maybe even further away?
Again, I'm going to maybe turn that over to Steve. I don't know if you want to take that one or.
Again, I don't want to speak for the gas company, but it's being coordinated through the PUC. The Public Utilities Commission is making sure that all the different utility companies are doing whatever checks they need to do before restoring services to make sure that one does not impact another. Chief, do you have anything to add or?
No, we had talked earlier, the PUC arrived on scene and they coordinated with the gas company. They did sweeps to make sure there was no odor detected. And they also coordinated with Duquesne Light, and they are systematically restoring power to the Rustic Ridge plan. They are eliminating power to those structures that were involved. And that's where it stands at this time.
Related to that, is there any signs that any other infrastructure was damaged by the blast?
Roadway or just homes?
Pipelines, electric utilities, anything underground?
Not that we know of at this time.
Is the NTSB involved in this investigation?
Steve, would you?
Yeah, as of this time, I'm not aware that the NTSB is involved at this moment, but that can something we can follow up with.
Okay, I want to thank all of you, and again, I'll thank, hopefully, please be sensitive, obviously, to the families and the privacy and the things that they obviously will be going through, and the whole community, quite frankly, is going to be going through in the coming days. But we thank you, and again, if you have any other further questions or inquiries, please refer those to Amy Downs. Thank you.